Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah,
No matter how long you've been investing, there's always more to learn.
that's for sure.
And today, we're going to really get into the nitty-gritty of risk tolerance.
Yeah, risk tolerance, it's such a crucial concept.
Yeah, and we'll be taking a deep dive into the Margin World podcast episode, how to evaluate your risk tolerance as an investor.
That's a great episode.
Yeah, we'll try to distill all the key takeaways to help you better understand your own personal risk tolerance.
And how you can apply that knowledge to make smarter investment decisions.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What exactly is risk tolerance? I mean, I feel like it's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean?
Yeah, it can definitely seem a little abstract, but basically it boils down to how comfortable are you with the possibility of losing money
Right.
in exchange for the potential to earn higher returns. So are you someone who's okay with seeing your investments go up and down?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer a more stable, predictable approach?
So it's kind of like choosing between like a really intense roller coaster with lots of drops and twists and turns,
Right.
or a more scenic, gentle ride.
Exactly. Some people thrive on that adrenaline rush, while others prefer a smoother experience.
So how much can you stomach those ups and downs?
Yeah, and Margin World actually breaks this down into two key components.
Okay.
Your ability to take risk
Okay.
and your willingness to take risk. So your ability to take risk is more about your financial situation.
So things like your income, your savings, how much time you have to invest.
Exactly. Like, think about a young person who's just starting out their career.
Yeah.
They have a lot more time to recover from any potential losses, right?
Right.
Compared to someone who's nearing retirement and needs that money to live on in the very near future.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. But then even if you have a longer time horizon, you might still not be okay with like seeing your investments drop in value, even if it's just temporary.
That's where the willingness piece comes in. It's more about your personality, your emotions. How do you feel about risk and uncertainty?
Mm.
Margin World actually has this really interesting thought experiment they ask listeners to consider.
I love those.
Okay, so imagine your portfolio suddenly drops 10%,
Okay.
20%, or even 30%. How do you really react?
Emotionally, yeah.
Would you panic and sell everything? Or would you be able to kind of stay calm and ride it out?
That's such a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you might think you have a high risk tolerance, but then when you're actually faced with that situation,
Right.
it can be a totally different story.
Exactly. And knowing how you might react under pressure is key for making those smart investment decisions.
Yeah, so how do we actually figure out our own risk tolerance?
Yeah.
Because it feels kind of abstract.
It is. It can definitely be a little tricky, but there are some practical ways to kind of get a better handle on it.
Okay.
So first, think about your investment goals.
Okay.
What are you saving for? How soon do you need that money? Like, if you're saving for a down payment on a house and you need that money in a couple of years, you probably don't want to be taking on a ton of risk.
Right. Because you don't want to risk losing it all right before you need it.
Exactly.
But if you're saving for retirement, which is, decades away,
Right.
you might feel more comfortable taking on some more risk.
Right. Because you have that time to recover.
Okay, so it sounds like the shorter your time horizon,
Mm-hmm.
the lower your risk tolerance should generally be.
Yeah. And then there's also your comfort level with the market's ups and downs.
Yeah.
Can you really stomach the thought of seeing your portfolio, drop, even if it's just in the short term?
Yeah. Are you going to lose sleep over it?
Right. Or would you be able to kind of just ride those waves?
It really is like those roller coasters.
Yeah,
But-
it is. It's all about finding that level of risk that you're personally comfortable with.
Okay, so once you kind of have a better understanding of your risk tolerance, how does that actually play into choosing specific investments?
So different types of investments come with different levels of risk, right?
Hmm.
So on the higher end of the spectrum, you have things like individual stocks,
Okay.
especially in those really volatile sectors like the tech industry, which the Margin World episode actually highlights.
Yeah, and those can be unpredictable, even if they have the potential for huge gains.
Oh, absolutely.
We've definitely seen some dramatic examples of that recently.
Yeah, for sure. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have things like government bonds.
Which are generally considered to be much safer.
Right. But they also typically offer lower returns.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Margin World actually uses these hypothetical investors, they call them Alex and Jamie, to illustrate this.
Oh, yeah, that was a helpful example.
So Alex is young, he's got a good income,
Right.
long time horizon, he's comfortable taking on some risk.
Mm-hmm.
So his portfolio might include things like those tech stocks we were talking about,
Yeah.
maybe some emerging market investments.
Right. Or even companies that are considered more speculative.
Yeah. And then you've got Jamie,
Yeah.
who's closer to retirement. She's more focused on stability, steady income.
Right.
So her portfolio might lean more towards bonds, dividend-paying stocks, things that are considered less risky.
Yeah, that's a really great illustration of how risk tolerance can actually shape your investment choices.
Yeah, even if two people have similar financial goals.
Exactly.
It's all about knowing yourself and what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. And once you've kind of got a handle on your risk tolerance, you can start to build a portfolio that really aligns with your goals and helps you sleep soundly at night.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah. And it's not always easy, but it's definitely worth the effort.
Well, this has already been so insightful. But before we jump into how we can actually manage risk in our portfolios,
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break.
All right. Sounds good.
But we'll be back soon to continue this deep dive on risk tolerance, so stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive on risk tolerance. So before the break, we were talking about how different risk tolerances can lead to such different investment choices.
Right. Even if those investors have similar financial goals, like those examples, Alex and Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm really curious to dive into those risk management strategies that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Those are super important.
Yeah, you touched on dollar cost averaging and setting loss limits. Can we break those down a bit further?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with dollar cost averaging. So instead of investing like a lump sum, all at once,
Okay.
you're basically spreading out your investments over time.
Sure.
So let's say you have like $10,000 that you want to invest.
Okay.
Instead of putting all $10,000 into the market today, you might decide to invest $1,000 every month for the next 10 months.
So even if the market goes down in some of those months, you're still buying shares at different prices, which can help average out your cost over time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a way to kind of mitigate that risk of investing everything at like a market peak.
Cool.
And it can also take some of the pressure off of trying to time the market perfectly, which, let's be honest, is pretty much impossible.
Right. Okay. And what about setting loss limits?
So loss limits are basically like a predetermined point at which you'll sell an investment if it drops below a certain price.
So it's kind of like a safety net.
Yeah, exactly. It can help prevent those, bigger losses and keep your emotions in check.
Okay. So how do you actually go about figuring out what those limits should be?
It really depends on your risk tolerance and, how much you're comfortable losing.
Okay.
Margin World suggests asking yourself, like, if this investment drops by, say, 10%, will I still be comfortable holding it?
Okay.
15%, 20%. And you set your loss limit accordingly.
So if you're someone who really can't stomach much volatility,
Yeah.
you might set a tighter loss limit,
Exactly.
like 5% or 10%.
Right. And if you're someone who's more comfortable riding out those market swings,
Yeah.
you might set a wider loss limit.
Okay. So it's really about finding what you're personally comfortable with.
Yeah, and remembering that those loss limits aren't just like random numbers.
Okay.
You got to consider the context of the overall market
Right.
and the specific investment. Like if a stock is dropping because the entire market is down, it might not be a reason to panic and sell.
Yeah.
But if it's dropping because of some, bad news specific to that company,
Yeah.
that might be a different story.
Okay. So it's kind of like a guideline,
Mm-hmm.
more than a hard and fast rule.
Right.
You're using it to kind of help you make more informed decisions.
Yeah, and to prevent yourself from, just making those emotional reactions to what the market's doing.
Yeah. Because those can really get you into trouble.
They can. And speaking of emotions, one of the things that Margin World really emphasizes is that your risk tolerance isn't static.
Oh, interesting.
It can change over time. Okay. Based on your experiences, your financial situation, even like major life events can affect your risk tolerance.
That makes a lot of sense. Like if you go through a major market downturn and you see, your portfolio take a big hit,
Right.
it might make you a little more risk averse going forward.
Yeah. Or, on the other hand, if you see your investments grow significantly over time,
Yeah.
you might become more comfortable taking on additional risk.
So it's like you're constantly learning and adjusting your approach as you go.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that makes investing so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers. It's
Right.
also about understanding yourself
Right.
and how your relationship with risk evolves over time.
This has been so helpful. Now I'm realizing that risk management, it's not just about setting those loss limits or dollar cost averaging.
Right.
It's also about having that self-awareness to recognize how your emotions might be influencing your decisions.
You got it. And that brings us to another key aspect of risk management that Margin World touches on, diversification.
Right. Diversification, that's the whole don't put all your eggs in one basket concept.
Exactly. Instead of concentrating all your investments in, say, one asset class
Yeah.
or one sector or one geographic region,
Mhm.
you're spreading them out across different areas.
So even if one part of your portfolio is struggling, the other parts can potentially help balance things out.
Yeah, exactly. It's about reducing that impact of any single investment on your overall portfolio.
So it's a smart strategy for anyone, really, no matter how much risk they're comfortable with.
Yeah, it's not just for people with a low risk tolerance.
Yeah.
Everyone can benefit from diversification.
So even if you have a high risk tolerance and you're like really into tech stocks or something,
Right.
you would still want to have some exposure to other asset classes.
Absolutely. Because you just never know what could happen. Diversification can help mitigate that risk and help you kind of weather those market storms a little more effectively.
It makes me think that it's so important to have like a really holistic approach to risk management.
Yes.
It's not just about individual strategies. It's
Yeah.
about understanding how all those pieces fit together.
Exactly. It's about having that well thought out plan that takes into account your risk tolerance,
Mm-hmm.
your investment goals, your time horizon,
Wow.
your overall financial situation.
Yeah.
And it's about being willing to kind of adjust that plan as needed, as your circumstances change.
Okay, this has been incredibly eye-opening. I feel like I have such a better understanding of risk management now. Is there anything else we should keep in mind as we kind of move forward with this?
Yeah, there's one more really crucial aspect of risk that we haven't really touched on yet, and
That's
that's the psychology of risk. It's about understanding how our brains are actually wired to respond to risk and how those responses can sometimes lead us to make decisions that aren't, the most rational.
Oh, I'm definitely intrigued.
Neat.
We have to dive into that more.
We'll definitely get into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, awesome. I can't wait. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive on risk tolerance. We've covered so much ground already, from defining risk tolerance and aligning it with our goals to, practical strategies like dollar cost averaging and diversification.
Right. And now we're going to kind of wrap things up by exploring this really fascinating area that Margin World touches on, the psychology of risk.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into this because, it's one thing to look at the numbers and the strategies, but understanding how our brains are actually wired to respond to risk, I mean, that's like a whole other layer, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it can be just as important as knowing those, financial numbers.
Yeah, so what are some of the psychological factors that really come into play when we're talking about risk tolerance?
Well, one of the biggest ones is this concept called loss aversion. And Margin World actually talks about this quite a bit. So basically, we humans, we feel the pain of a loss much more strongly than we feel the pleasure of, like an equal gain. It's kind of
Hmm.
strange when you think about it.
That's so true. I could definitely relate to that. Like losing $100, it just feels so much worse
Yeah.
than finding $100 feels good.
Exactly. So it's like our brains are almost hardwired to avoid those losses.
Mm.
And, this can really impact our investment decisions because even if we know intellectually that taking on some risk is necessary for potential growth,
Yeah.
that fear of loss, it can make us like overly cautious or even lead us to avoid investing altogether.
So how do we overcome that fear and make more rational decisions? I mean, it's one thing to understand loss aversion, but how do we actually put that into practice?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right?
Right.
Well, one of the most effective ways is to really focus on the long term. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. There will always be ups and downs.
Yeah.
But if you have that solid plan, you're investing for the long haul. Those short-term fluctuations, they shouldn't, derail you.
So that's where having that really well-defined investment plan really comes in handy, right?
Right? Absolutely.
Like knowing your goals, your time horizon, your risk tolerance.
Yeah.
It can all help you stay the course, even when the market gets, a little bumpy.
Right, because it's easy to kind of get caught up in the day-to-day noise.
Yeah.
But if you have that bigger picture in mind, it can really help you, keep those emotions in check.
Right. And Margin World also talks about another psychological factor that can kind of trip us up, recency bias. So our tendency to overemphasize like recent events when we're making decisions.
Oh yeah, recency bias, that's a big one.
So how does that apply to investing?
Well, and think about it, like If the market has been on a tear recently, we might be feeling, really optimistic.
Mhm.
And we might be more likely to take on, more risk than we normally would.
Yeah, like we're thinking it's going to keep going up.
Right. We
Yeah.
get caught up in the hype and we kind of forget that there are always risks involved.
Or on the flip side, if the market has been down,
Yeah,
it could make us overly pessimistic.
right.
And maybe we miss out on some opportunities.
Exactly. So it's like our brains are almost, playing tricks on us, making it harder to really be objective.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So what are some things we can actually do to kind of like combat these psychological hurdles?
So Margin World has some really helpful suggestions. One of them is to stick to your investment plan no matter what the market is doing.
Okay.
So this means, rebalancing your portfolio regularly,
Yeah.
maintaining that target asset allocation, even if it means, selling some investments that have performed well and maybe buying more of those that have lagged behind. It can feel counterintuitive, but it's important.
So it's about being disciplined and not letting your emotions drive your decisions,
Yeah, that's a big one.
even when it feels hard.
It is.
Another strategy is to just focus on what you can control. You can't control the market, but you can control your own behavior.
Exactly. You can control how much you save,
Right.
how you diversify your portfolio,
Right.
how you react to those market fluctuations. And really, the more you focus on those things, the less power those psychological biases will have over you.
Well, this whole conversation has been so eye-opening. It's amazing how much, like, our psychology really plays a role in our financial
It
decisions.
really does.
So, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways that our listeners should keep in mind about risk tolerance?
First and foremost, remember that risk tolerance is deeply personal. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all
Yeah.
about finding what's right for you in
Yeah.
your individual circumstances.
Yep.
Second, don't be afraid to seek out some guidance,
Yeah.
from a trusted financial advisor, especially if you're feeling, overwhelmed or unsure about how to manage risk. They can really help you, create that plan. That aligns with your goals and your comfort level.
Yeah.
And then finally, just remember that investing is a journey.
Yeah.
It's not a destination. There will be bumps along the road.
Yeah, for sure.
But with a solid plan, a bit of patience,
Mm-hmm.
and a healthy dose of self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
you can navigate the market with confidence and achieve those financial goals.
Those are fantastic takeaways. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into risk tolerance. We hope you found it insightful and helpful on your own investing journey.
Yeah, we had a great time.
And remember, the learning never stops.
Yeah, it never does. Keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Mhm.
keep striving to become a more informed and confident investor.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah.
Until next time, happy investing.